I just remember being like, all right, I'm not gonna jump in, I'm gonna do it my way. This is my race. And kept on telling myself, like, this is my race. I'm not gonna do it the other way people are doing it. Like, I know that if I jump in, I might go too far down under and then feel like I don't have enough momentum. And so, yeah, I hit the water. I was a little nervous I was gonna be cold because it is a river and I didn't have a wetsuit on and other people did. And again, you're doubting yourself, but then I got in and I was like, I'm at home. I'm at home. And I started passing people and it felt good. I'm Brynley Farr. I'm a wife, a mom of 3 awesome boys, a business owner, a now triathlete, and I'm a Moxie woman. Before I told myself, oh, you own a business, you have no time for anything other than work and home. And saying no, like defying that status quo or not buying into that mentality of after kids, you're done with anything athletic. I feel like our society kind of tells us that, like, you know, you have kids, you have a mom body, like you're done. And I was like, I don't think so. I want to do hard things that I've never done before after having kids. So I signed up for a 5K and told my girlfriends, like, hey, I'm gonna run this. I can't run 2 minutes without losing my breath. And my girlfriend's running with me. And I remember wanting to quit, but for those 3 miles, you know, ran it with them and felt so accomplished after. And then after that, that became, like, I started my running journey of, oh, I can do this. I can become a runner. I can't just wake up and run 13 miles. I can't. I needed to submit myself to a plan, a workout plan, and if you don't make it a priority, it won't happen. So there are many things that I do in my life, goal setting down to my day. What does my day look like? And putting that time and saying, this is my top 3. I have 3 priorities today, and one of them is to work out. And so this past week was a really hard week, but I still went home and I got on the treadmill or got on the trainer because I wasn't gonna break that promise to myself. I push myself really hard with business, and I know that I can accomplish a lot. And seeing what I could do as far as like going from not being able to run at all to doing a 5K and then saying, okay, I can go mountain bike, I can go do these things. I follow these wild people that I see that they're like, it's all in your mind. And I'm like, okay, is my mind as strong as I think it is? If it's all in my mind and in preparation, then shouldn't I be able to do a half Ironman if other people can do it? So that's why I decided to sign up. I was very comfortable with the bike route, knowing, like, I knew that there were gonna be some crazy hills and I knew to anticipate them. And so I got on the bike and went. And there were some times where we were going up a hill and I would have people around me get off and walk. And you ask yourself, am I doing the wrong thing? Like, should I be getting off and walking? And I'm thinking, no. Stick to the training. Like, you train for this. You don't get off. Like, your body will want to stop. Like, you do not have any extra minutes. I was on the bike for 4 hours and 15 minutes and I enjoyed it. But there were times where I was like, oh my goodness, I'm watching my cadence drop. When I looked down, I had put people's names on my handlebar of like women that inspire me because they are very strong and they're going through something really hard, and I'm going through something hard because I chose to. Like, I chose to put myself in this position where they aren't choosing to put themselves going through cancer or losing their husband, losing their mom, or my grandmother who's 93, and I mean, her mind is there, but her body's failing her. Like, my body isn't failing me. I chose to put myself in this hard position, and so I'm gonna, like, for them, I'm doing it. So yeah, that's what kept me going. Yeah, so I think that as humans we love, or it's proven that we love safety and comfort, and where beauty can come is out of struggle and pain. You can become someone else after going through or experiencing something hard, from my experience. In 2019, I had Christopher, our third child, in May, and then shortly thereafter, I had someone quit on our team, but we decided that the best person to fit that position was Chris. So Chris quit his full-time job to join by Farr, and then 2020 hit. And in an instant, I felt like my whole world changed. And I'm sure, I know other people had the same experience, but for me, I was like, okay, both incomes tied to the business. We work for small businesses. And in an instant, like in one day, I remember getting like 8 phone calls of people. I was like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna be able to pay for our people? I don't know. I remember being on the floor crying and just being like, what? Why? Like, why? So, our team rallied. We got through it, and I was so proud and thankful, and I was like, okay, that hardship is over. So then I thought that I had gone through all the hardship that I needed to go through. So I'm training, and I started feeling really weird and bad, and we were not planning on having a 4th child. And found out that I was pregnant, and that kind of, it derailed me for a minute, because I thought, well, my goals are something that were so precious to me, because that's kind of all I had going through the pandemic, of like, if I can get here. It just kept me going. And so I started grieving that like big goal. But then I quickly turned excited of like, oh, maybe this is the little girl that I've always wanted. And you start thinking of names, and you quickly pivot from being, oh, I'm sad that, and scared and terrified that we're gonna have a 4th child when we weren't planning on it. We just are recovering from everything of 2020. So, okay, well, we'll get through it. It'll be okay. But then I found out that I was going to miscarry, and that was like, to experience that on top of kind of going through that grieving process of the business, like feeling like I knew my business almost died, but then knowing that the baby within me died, I felt really guilty, and I was like filled with pain and questioning, like, if I went through what I just went through, why did I have to go through that? And what did I turn to? I started looking up and saying, okay, well, I need something to be able to help me process this grief. And so I signed up for the Half Ironman in September. So I lost the baby like May 21st, and I had to recover for a couple weeks. And then my doctor, she's a very dear person in my life. I've known her for 20 years. She goes, Brynley, you just need to run. my mind was like, oh my goodness, I'm running with people, but they're running their second lap versus their first lap, and who's their first lap? So your brain starts to look for people that are with you. And that was hard. Like you do one lap and then you're like, all right, now I have to do it again. And that was intense. And knowing like my speed was lacking. And I started to tell my body, like, you will finish this on time. Like, you have no choice. And as I'm going, then I see like girlfriends pop out and family members, like my in-laws, my mom, like my kids, Scott and Aaron, and their children. And it just meant so much. And I was like, all these people came, they took their Sunday to come cheer for me. Like, the least I can do is finish on time. And so I really pushed myself. As I was coming down for the last like quarter of a mile, I had no idea where I was in the time, like overall time, because my watch had glitched. And so I'm just thinking, okay, I'm down to like minutes, or I really added up incorrectly and I'm already past the 8.5 hours. And Chris came, like I saw Chris and he's like, Brynley, you have 8 minutes. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna make it, because I only have a quarter of a mile. So even though I walked it, I'd be okay. But it gave me the momentum to finish strong. And so yeah, I finished with time, like 6 minutes to spare. So that was the best feeling, because I didn't, I really didn't know if I had finished within the time frame until Chris was like, I didn't believe it until the app said my official time. Like I was like, yeah. Like you're telling me that, like but where does it say it officially? And he showed me and I was like, yeah, I started crying. That was the best feeling, to have accomplished it within that time frame, because I told myself, it doesn't matter if you are dead last, just finish it within the time. That's all. And I wasn't dead last. Moxie means courage, and courage is going through something hard and you're knowing like you're gonna go through it and you are terrified and you're scared, but you're gonna go through it anyway. You're facing it. So now more than ever, I want to share other women's stories so that other women can be encouraged by them and encourage the women that they're hearing from. The whole goal is to uplift other women, and anything that I can do to show, like as an example, if I can do it, you most certainly can do it. I want women to be empowered and to be excited to say, go do it. Don't wait. Don't say, oh, after the kids get out of high school. No. Do it for yourself. You will be a better person for the people you love. And you'll learn to love yourself in the process.